Hey, what's up? It's me, Dakota Fishman, and today you're trying to figure out how to gather mind power. You know, the thing that makes the world go round. You want to do it the quickest way possible, and without spending. Alright, well, here's what I can tell you from somebody that played this game relatively free to play. Very quickly, I can tell you that 99.9% of any of this game is going to want you to spend. So, how do you gain power without spending? Believe it or not, every time you pop your wonderful, wonderful artifacts, all right, every day, you're going to get artifacts. You can throw all of those artifacts on your heroes, and that's going to add hero might. Conveniently, if you tech heroes, so like you level one hero, tack one other hero on, and yeah, you can mass progressively level a bunch of heroes all at the same time, while using the CP you get every day. So, as an example, as the game progressively gets longer, you're going to eventually acquire longer and longer and longer and longer amounts of XP on the actual marches themselves. So, for example, say I wanted to level someone other than Eliana or Guanwen for that matter, I could just tag another hero in here. So, for example, I don't know, I might at some point in the distant future decide that, you know what, I think I'm going to end up using Drek in the near future. So Craig is going to get used, but of course the other trouble is we're outnumbered. That's a problem. And we don't have enough ballista to do this, so we're going to have to take the ballista out. Let's see how much we have swordsman-wise. We may have enough. If not, not a problem. Okay, we'll just go down a level then. Of course, yeah, so you kind of have to be careful not to like over or underdo it either. Same exact reason. So I don't know. Again, just doesn't really matter the hero so much as it. The idea here is that you're basically improving the amount of each hero power that you can gain. Now, aside from that, the next thing you would do is obviously you build as many units as possible, and that's going to be a challenge in and of itself. But most of the time, you're going to spend most of your energy trying to do these main quests. And I'd say what I was doing that effectively got me a lot of hero power very quickly, very early on, is what I did was I basically went down into the Dragon Trail. Okay. I mass leveled maybe one or two heroes and usually picked a hero pair that made sense and picked a faction that bonused it. So in my case, I did League of Order, I did Velen, and I did Walder. I threw those two together, and then I had my Cha-Cha and my Kella going around gathering. Okay, so I basically had one squad going out to gather, and then another squad to go out and basically do the damage and DPS on the Dark Links. And then I had guildmates that were doing chests, and so I basically grouped up with them, got chests, and it's obviously you're always going to do a lot better if you do things in groups. It's just kind of the way this game goes. So, you always want to kind of work on things as a group, just kind of the way it goes. As you can tell, it's one of those things that it makes a lot of sense if you're actively trying to level your. I mean, I'd say about the only other place you can gain a stupid amount, I would at least think, if anything off the top of my head, is if you go into the store, you want to get your basic CP, because that's going to give you all the CP you would need to be able to get through the experience that you would need to gain the hero power that you would need. Obviously we're going to save some of the speeds, because you're not going to want to burn speeds on something incidentally. Like, you're gonna, if anything, you're gonna spend a lot of your time increasing three things. You're gonna be leveling your hero, and you're gonna be leveling a specific unit type, and then you're going to do yourself a favor and put almost everything in your Stardew into one hero just to save time. And then to tack on any other further bonuses, I mean, it really comes down to, like, at least in my experience when I was playing this, especially in the early game, is you've got to go in here and you've got to go through and basically powerhouse through all of your extra added items that you don't need. So like for me, I didn't need autos, so I scrapped all of those, and I turned around and took all the items and I was scrapping them in the goblin market. So I'd scrap them, turn around, scrap anything I didn't need, threw those all into either hero coins or, in some cases, gold keys. And then I turned around, waited until I had 10 of whichever item, and used up all my free ones every day. And then about the only other thing you can really do to min-max power is, you're min-maxing it by getting it through the Dragon Trail, which is going to do a vast majority of the heavy lifting. And the other majority of it, I feel like, also comes out of scouting. Like a lot of early level power leveling is going to be coming out of scouting, in my opinion, because there is a stupid amount of this where you can, like, I mean, I don't know how else to explain it, really. It's really that straightforward. So, like, for example, you can just pick an area and scout it, and as you're scouting it, you're gonna gather all of the goddamn explore reports and grab all the speeds that you possibly can, all the villages and everything. You're just gonna go freaking ham on it, because that's where you're gonna get a stupid amount of that you could then turn around, and as you're doing your, not only are you going to be min-maxing the main quest and the Dragon Trail, you're going to be min-maxing most of all of the things related to the challenges. So, any of the challenges at all, you're going to do the challenges too, because this is ultimately where you're going to get more speeds, you're going to get more bonuses. Now, effectively, in order to min-max anything in a game like this, is you need to be gathering, you need to be doing anything that is effectively going to give you something in return. So challenges are going to be a big thing. You're going to want to focus down on recovering dark chests and grabbing your extra keys, because, why the hell not? And then doing the story, the chapter story in tandem with everything else. That's a crazy amount of gems even still. But assuming you did even all of what I've suggested, you can also do forts. During the beginning, you'll also get the Eliana event eventually, and then you can hit spam Eliana. Literally just join every single guild that has an event going on. So if they're fighting giant, join giant. If they're doing, like, that is, I kid you not, there's a lot of goodies and rewards that come in through that. So if you're min-maxing like that, you're gonna power level a lot faster that way, especially if you're not spending. Now, assuming you're spending, at this point, I'd say about the only min-maxing at that point is whatever your credit card is going to basically give you. But that's not really power level advice. That's credit card spending. And at that point, I think you know the answer. You don't need me to tell you that. I will tell you, though, that if you want to try to kind of be abstractly, so to speak, like, gain a lot of power in a very short period of time, I think a vast majority of that is also going to be really, really in line with whatever you're researching to at the same time. So, like, for example, if you're doing economy tech, you go through and do these, and then you get mana prospecting. You max out stamina 1 and breathe control, and then you just keep min-maxing to get to research speed, and then maxing out that. Like, there's a lot of bonuses in there. Like, you're gonna get pretty quick, pretty fast that way, as far as upgrading your power in any short period of time like that. And besides from everything else I've suggested, which is, like I said, just to recap, basically have your guild, everybody in the guild, hit as many chests as possible, preferably not green ones. You want to go for superior or rare. Okay, spamming those is a lot more beneficial in terms of speeds and also rewards, and it adds up. Like, the more that you filter through, the more you've got, it's going to make a hell of a difference. That's ultimately what you need. It makes a huge difference in terms of bonusing. But around the same time, you also got to manage your CP and make sure that you're also, joining rallies on the actual events. And that's it. That's all you need. That's all there is. That's all you need. That's how you power level in this game.